What's good? We are back with another video. Feels good to be back. I took a week off. I was on vacation with family for Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys took at least Thanksgiving off or Friday off or spend time with the family. It's okay to get off the charts, in case you need to hear that. But yeah, took the week off. I had a good time being away from the charts. In all honesty, I had a pretty rough Friday, which is what I wanted to start the day off talking about. One of my biggest things that I talk about on this channel is transparency, honesty, accountability, and yeah, those are some of the biggest things. So I just want to be transparent. I mean, I know there's only a few people that watch these videos, but more so transparent to myself. Be honest with myself, hold myself accountable. Friday was rough. I blew my XFAs. I was a few days away. I was 2 days away from a payout, from a pretty nice payout, and just kind of let myself, caution in the wind, screw was loose. I think part of it had to do with me going on vacation. I just wasn't taking anything seriously. I woke up late, so just wasn't a day I should have been training. I did. There's nothing I can do about it. I had the week to reset, and today we got our lick back. Top Step had a pretty big announcement in terms of new pricing. They had a pretty big update in their new pricing. Their evals are now only $80 all in. I personally don't struggle with evals. It's kind of a no-brainer for me to just rip these $80 ones. So I went ahead and grabbed myself two more because I lost my two XFAs. And I just traded these today. You can see the balance. It's later. It is. You can see it is 6:30 p.m. So a little later that I'm doing this, but I made. Here, I'll show you the calendar. I was up 700 and my calendar. 710 bucks a day. It says three trades just because I TP'd and then I got break even. So, um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, pretty easy day today in all honesty. I was letting it first of the month, December price actions usually kind of hit or miss. So I was kind of letting the market tell me what it wanted to do today, but I had a bullish bias, and I took shorts, but I had a bullish bias. I was bullish up to this hourly gap, this unfilled hourly. We had all this low resistance right here, as you can see that we generated overnight. Um, so I was bullish up to here from down here where we open up around open. Now, obviously, like I said, I took shorts. So we will get into why. This is going to be a really short recap. This was really easy trade and it was really early into the session. Um, but those are the good ones. It was a pretty discretionary trade. I missed a few things and not missed, but you can say broke a few rules, but I didn't really break them. I took what was given to me and this made sense to me, so I took it. But we'll go ahead and get right into it. So coming into open, or coming into the morning, I guess, the first thing I noticed was this daily gap that we had tapped into overnight. And this is why I was both loose, biased, and bullish, because we tapped into this unmitigated daily gap right here. And so my eyes were kind of set on this being a protected low, and then we were going to get expansion higher up into that hourly gap that I was talking about. But we also had this bearish daily gap. Now, I know we had kind of mitigated this, like we had traded pretty close up to inversing it. But when you have two high time frame gaps like that are so strong, it's usually lower probability. So I wanted to wait to see what open would do to see if we would get any movement. And sure enough, we did. So I was ready to find a trade, take a trade, and execute on such. So when I was coming into the morning, though, into open, I saw that we had this 4 hour gap right here. And granted, we had traded through this and we delivered into the daily gap. But aside from that, we just left a really nice low down here. We left overnight lows down here. Um, Now, this protected low right here, yes, it was a protected low because it was in the daily gap. We'd already delivered into the daily gap and we were expanding higher at the time. Expanding higher, we were kind of just slowly trending up. So my eyes were set on it, really just set on these London lows, like London pre-market kill zone lows. Now, I had an extra take profit down here, which is why I was only up 710, not 1,000, 1,500, whatever it may have been. I would have liked to milk it out for the rest. I didn't know if I was expecting it to. I would have liked to see a continuous flush. We obviously didn't get that, so I was fine with, my TP here and then getting break even on the rest. Um, so when I actually took the trade, and I know I'm kind of rapid firing again, this was a really easy trade. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Um, Coming into open, we had this super minor SMT that was at these lows right here, just these like silly pre-market lows. This this SMT held no weight for me aside from price delivering up, sweeping out this no wick candle right here that we formed at open, and then forming the SMT at London highs with ES. Now we had a bunch of low resistance up here, which was one of those the rule break that I was talking about at the very beginning of the video. I would have liked to see this come up and tap this hourly gap, sweep out these relative equal highs, get rid of all this low resistance, and then see continued flush lower. But we had the small SMT delivered higher, formed a new SMT. So ES was sweeping London. So this SMT, this is no longer a thing to me anymore. It's we that SMT was formed to deliver price higher. We delivered higher to where we wanted to go. That bullish SMT, that small bullish SMT means nothing to me anymore. So once I saw that we had this SMT, I just went ahead and scaled down to the 1 minute time frame because like I said, this trade was pretty early in the open. We didn't form like this was at I took this at 9:40. So 10 minutes in the open, we didn't have any high time frame gaps aside from the 1 minute. Like we didn't have a 2 minute, we didn't have a 3 minute, excuse me, we didn't have a 5 minute, we didn't have anything on here. So my eyes were on the 1 minute. And I see that price leaves the first presented gap. We trade into it, deliver higher. So that this bullish SMT down here, and I'll go ahead and re-annotate this. This small bullish SMT right here delivered price higher. We formed the first presented gap, tapped into it, went higher, and now we formed this SMT. So this model right here, this SMT fair value gap tap, sweep buy side, we sweep these pre-market highs right here, forming a bearish SMT. That tells me that NQ does not need to go higher right now. Like we don't need to necessarily expand. So now I'm just waiting for my entry trigger. Now, could we have expanded? Absolutely, but I just wouldn't have had an entry trigger, so I wouldn't have taken this. At when all the pieces, you gotta it's like there's a trader Justin Werline. He always talks about this. It's Pictionary, you have this picture and you have or hangman and you have these, we'll use hangman as a better example. You start with nothing, you get a letter, you get another letter, you get another letter. Now by the fourth or fifth or sixth letter, you now know the whole word. It's the same thing with this. I'm just using I'm using context clues. So we had this bearish SMT get formed. Open doesn't really do a whole lot. We just sweep this out, deliver higher. First presented gap gets formed, tapped into higher. And now we have SMT. So ES is trading all the way up here. NQ has yet to sweep out London. So now I can begin looking for my entry trigger if it is provided. If it's not, no big deal. If it is, I'm going to execute on that. So I see that we have the first presented gap. And in my head, I was like, okay, maybe we get a resweep of the highs. Maybe we go higher into the hourly gap and then come lower. Maybe this continues higher. We didn't do that. The second we came up here and formed this SMT, NQ with large displacement, large heavy displacement, displaced lower through this, and this was such a strong close. I and this I will say this is where the discretion kind of came in because we didn't have the high time frame gap. We had the low resistance and price was kind of just like this open was really slow, but this displacement was very telling. So I was fine with putting on shorts. So all it really was, we inverse the first presented gap. I didn't want to enter down here because, like I said, this low was protected. My eyes were really on this low right here. Had I entered all the way down here, that would have been a one-to-one. One-to-ones are cool, but I definitely felt like I could have gotten some better risk to reward, especially because of how heavy we closed. A lot of the times when you get a close like this, you get a little lucky, price will pull back. So I market entered on the pullback into the first presented inverse. And then I put my stop up here because we had formed this 1 minute bearish gap right here. So if price had come up here, inverted this gap, I definitely would have not wanted to be in this trade. So I left my stop right there and I went break even at this low right here at these 930 lows. And that was really all there was to it. I went break even here. We had a pretty big reaction. I did think I was going to get break even. Um, Luckily, I did not. Price continued lower. Swept out this low. That was my TP1. Stops went to break even when TP1 was hit, and then I was still targeting. I had my TP down here, so the rest of my position. Um, and that honestly, that is the entirety of the trade. After this was so early into open, I was done at 9:45 and I got off the charts. I don't have any commentary for after the fact. I didn't look after the fact. I just got up, went to the gym, and that was pretty much all there was to it. It was easy day, quick, easy day. Ended up netting 1,420 bucks on evals, not on the XFA again. It was on evals. I'm really not trying to stress these evals and get them done in, a day and a half, 2 days. It's what I get this week, I get this week. Just gonna take it slow. Friday, like I said, Friday was pretty rough. I haven't been not funded since April, ish. I haven't not had XFA since April, so I'm really not trying to get ahead of myself. I don't want to put my psyche in the shitter. This is when it matters. This is when your psychology matters the absolute most. When you are in the position to test yourself, when you get tested and you have to prevail, this is when your psychology matters the most. So I'm not gonna let myself freak out. I'm not gonna do this, at the other. I'm just gonna take what's given. I'm gonna do so with managing my risk. I'm gonna do so responsibly. When I pass them, I pass them. Hopefully, I can get them passed, in the next 2, 3 days, but we'll see. But that's pretty much all there was to today's trade. It was a really easy day today, for me personally, just in terms of finding the trade, executing the trade, and getting off of the charts. It's kind of nice, using discretion every now and then, on days like this when prices wishy-washy, not really moving anywhere. So, could go either ways. You're just in a PDRA sandwich. So I took what was given to me, executed on that, and that's really all there was to it. So 1,400 day on the evals, you know, good day, 80 bucks each. It's pretty cool. If you don't have any evals with Top Step, I would go get some. 80 bucks is solid. It's the one firm that I've had that's never denied a payout. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is. I'm kind of just yapping right now. I feel like this is too short, but that's all I've got. So we'll go ahead and call this here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.